What's up everyone, my name's Robbie, this is Robbie in Manila, and today we're talking about the best brokers for Roth IRAs. So when it comes to Roths, I have 5 different brokers that I like for various different reasons. And of these 5 brokers, we can break them down into 3 specific subcategories that will help you figure out which is going to be best for you. So first, we have the traditional brokers. My 2 top choices in this group are Charles Schwab and Fidelity. The next category that we have, I refer to it kind of like the fintech startup broker category. And the best broker in this category, in my opinion, is M1 Finance. Now look, I know what you're probably thinking. You're thinking, Robbie, why isn't Robinhood included in this? And honestly, the answer is because they're awful. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Oh, that's so hot. So actually the real reason Robinhood isn't on the list is because it doesn't offer a Roth IRA, so of course, it's not going to be on the list. The final category is the Robo-Advisor category, and it includes 2 companies. So first we have Betterment, and next we have Wealthfront. I really want to help you figure out which of these brokers is going to be best for you, so I want to help narrow this down basically. And to do that, we're going to have to ask a question. And the question is, how do you want to invest? The reason this question is so important is because, for example, if you are a short-term trader, you're not going to use Betterment, and you're not going to use Wealthfront, and you're not going to use M1 Finance. And on the other side of the coin, if you want just a robo-advisor, you could go with any of these brokers except for M1 Finance. And so basically, the way you invest is really important. What I'm going to do in this video is break it into 3 different ways that you can invest. So you're either a passive investor, which could be someone who just invests in one index fund, like a total market index fund, or someone who invests in a 3-fund portfolio, or someone who invests in a target date fund, or someone who's investing via a robo-advisor. The other type of investor is that you could be an active investor. And if you're an active investor, you could either be a mid to long-term active investor, or you could be a short-term active trader / swing trader. So an active mid to long-term investor would be someone who wants to be involved in their own portfolio. For example, maybe they buy their own stocks, their own funds, their own ETFs. This type of investor might have an opinion if they like large cap growth stocks or small cap value stocks or momentum stocks, things like that. An active short-term trader is going to be completely different. These are people who may day trade. So that's someone who's buying and selling stocks intraday, and they may not hold a position more than a few minutes. You could also be a swing trader, so you might hold positions for a week or a month at the most. So what active short-term traders need is very different than the other types of investors. So now that we've defined all of these things, I think it's going to be pretty easy to figure out which is going to be best for you. So let's go ahead, let's run the intro, and let's get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started, but first, please, hit the like button. I'll wait. Now it's cold. Weird. So as we get started, I just want to mention that I'm assuming that you already know whether or not you should be investing in a Roth IRA. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but hopefully you've already figured out if it's going to be right for you. Okay, so let's start with passive investors. So if you're interested in just like a 1-fund portfolio, like a total market fund, or a 3-fund portfolio, or a target date fund, then the best brokers for you are going to be Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and M1 Finance. Well, of course, now it comes down to which one you should choose, and there's actually a few things that you can consider. One of the great things Fidelity has going for it is that it has Fidelity Zero funds, which have absolutely no expense ratio. So the funds are literally free. Besides Fidelity Zero funds, Schwab and Fidelity pretty much have anything you're going to need. They have IRAs, they have Roth IRAs, they have all sorts of different accounts. They also have great research. I'd say they're both very great brokers, and essentially they're both tied. If you want to see an in-depth comparison of Fidelity versus Schwab, I will put a video here that I made. Take a look at that. Now, M1 Finance is a little bit different. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Schwab has and Fidelity has. Really what you're getting with M1 Finance is a really great app with a good interface that's really probably great for beginners. So Schwab and Fidelity are going to be great if you want a full service broker with everything you may ever need. And M1 Finance might be a little bit better for someone who's a beginner who wants a really easier interface and platform to understand. Okay, so next up we have the Robo-Advisors. A robo-advisor is a way for you to invest your money completely passively, totally hands-off. Each broker that has a robo-advisor has an algorithm that is designed to help invest your money. So essentially what happens is you take a risk tolerance questionnaire, and based on your age and income and all sorts of different things, they allocate your money into the correct investments based on what you answer. But the thing is, if you go with Betterment or Wealthfront, they take it a little bit further, and so let's go over the differences between these different robo-advisors. So Betterment and Wealthfront are complete robo-advisors, that's all they offer. But what's interesting is that Schwab and Fidelity have their own robo-advisors. So you can always go with one of those brokers, the traditional brokers, and set up a robo-advisor with them if you'd like to. So some caveats about the different robo-advisors. First, Fidelity's robo-advisor actually charges a fee. It's called Fidelity Go, and the fee you can see here, for under $10,000, it's $0 fee. For $10,000 to $49,999, it's $3 per month, and then over $50,000, it's $0.35 per year. There's also another option called Fidelity Personalized Planning and Advice, which gives you unlimited one-on-one financial planning calls with a team of financial advisors. This has a fee of 0.50%. Now, if you compare this to the Charles Schwab Robo-Advisor Intelligent Portfolios actually has a $5,000 minimum, but it has absolutely no fee and no commissions that it charges. So with this robo-advisor, you can have 51 different ETFs selected and monitored by Schwab experts that span 20 plus expanded asset classes. Now this is really hard to beat because there's no fee for it and you get a robo-advisor. So Betterment and Wealthfront can be good in certain situations. Both Betterment and Wealthfront are what you would call goal-based robo-advisors. So they'll actually invest your money based on different goals that you have. For example, you can see here a kitchen renovation, a Reach College Fund, or Dream Retirement. These are all different life goals that you can put into your Betterment account or your Wealthfront account, and the companies will invest your money based on these life goals. So whether you want a Roth IRA or not, it's going to kind of help you manage your funds all together as one. So all of the different accounts that you might have, be it taxable account, IRA, Roth IRA, just a bank account, all the different accounts that you have, they can be managed kind of together as kind of a plan. Another great feature of these two, both Wealthfront and Betterment, is something called tax location, where they'll actually invest the most efficient types of money in the most efficient types of accounts. For example, if you have a big portfolio that has a lot of dividend income, it might be better to put that into an IRA or a Roth IRA. Whereas if you have other growth stocks that don't pay dividends, that don't have income coming off of them, it could be better to have that in a taxable brokerage account. If this is confusing, just think of it like this. Betterment and Wealthfront have the ability to treat your portfolio in a more tax efficient way and potentially get you more money down the road. And by the way, if you want to watch a video on Betterment versus Wealthfront, I'll put it right here. I also have individual videos of reviews of the companies. I'll put those in the description below. So while there are great features, the one main thing is that there's a 0.25% fee for both Betterment and Wealthfront. So to recap the robo-advisors really quick. So first, between Charles Schwab and Fidelity, Schwab is going to be better because there's no fee. So between Schwab, Betterment, and Wealthfront, what I would say is that if you just want something that is going to invest your money, then Schwab is great. If you want the other things, if you want the goal-based planning, if you want some extra tax services like tax location, if you want more of a plan and you're okay with spending a little bit more money, then Wealthfront and Betterment might be for you. Okay, next up we have the active mid to long-term investors. So if you're more of an active mid to long-term investor, this is what I would say for you. So really you need access to stocks and you need access to funds. So ETFs, index funds, maybe even mutual funds, and things like bond funds. Those are the main things that I would suggest that any kind of active mid to long-term investor has. So the answer to this one is Charles Schwab, Fidelity, or M1 Finance. Again, Schwab and Fidelity are going to have pretty much everything you're going to need. They have tools like screeners, they have research, they have a lot of different things. When it comes to M1 Finance, you're not going to have the tools that these traditional brokers have, and your options are going to actually be a little bit more limited. For example, with M1 Finance, you do not have access to index funds, but you do have ETFs. So hopefully that makes sense. And next up are the active short-term traders. So when it comes to short-term trading, basically you're not going to go with Betterment, Wealthfront, or M1 Finance. They're just not set up for short-term traders. Of course, this leaves Charles Schwab and Fidelity, so the question is, which is the best out of these two? When it comes to short-term trading, what you really want is a great platform, and so Fidelity has a bit better of a platform than Charles Schwab. But here is the bonus broker in this whole thing. So basically, Charles Schwab acquired TD Ameritrade, and so here's the deal. TD Ameritrade has the best trading platform out of probably all the brokers, so it's called Thinkorswim, and it's really good. Eventually, Schwab will incorporate Thinkorswim into their platform because they acquired TD Ameritrade, and over the next probably 12 to 18 months, this is going to happen. But for now, if you really want the best trading platform, you might want to actually go with TD Ameritrade. So what you could actually do is open up a TD Ameritrade account to get Thinkorswim, and eventually, over the next year or so, you will become a Charles Schwab customer. Okay, everyone, so that is it. So let's do a quick recap by taking a look at this graphic I made. So in this box, we have the Roth passive investor. Here we have the Roth mid to long-term investor. And here we have the Roth active short-term trader. Of course, the green means that it's good. So Schwab is good for everything, as you probably remember. Fidelity is also good for everything. M1 Finance is good if you want a 3-fund portfolio or a target date fund. They don't have a Robo-Advisor, and it's okay if you want to do a mid to long-term type of investing. Betterment and Wealthfront, of course, are just good if you want a Robo-Advisor. So thanks everyone so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope this video helped you out. Make sure you leave a little comment and let me know which of these brokers you're thinking of using. I'd love to hear from you. And in the description below, I'm putting a bunch of links to videos to help you out, so watch that if you want to. Also, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see future content like this. And at the end, there is an end screen button with some different videos, so why don't you click on those coming up right now.